time of the next meeting, so at this time I'll call the meeting to order. Madam Chair, do we have a quorum?
Yes, sir, we have quorum.
This time I recognize Mr. Robert Farrell, who's going to lead us in tonight's pledge, followed by Dr. Weber, who's going to give tonight's invocation. Robert.
Everyone please stand, salute, and join in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Weber.
Let us pray. Dear God, we say thank you. We thank you for the opportunity to meet here tonight, God. We thank you, God, for the privilege to come, God, that you trust us to handle your affairs for the community, God. Let everything we do and everything that we say be decent and in order. Guide us, order our steps, lead us, and give us wisdom, God, to carry out what is needed to make a better community. We thank you, God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you both. Next, we recognize any elected officials who may be present. Next, we recognize any veterans present.
Let's start there with Jason and come around and give name, ranks of service.
James Paul, United States Air Force.
Stephen Christie, United States Marine Corps.
Jamie Yarborough, U.S. Army.
Robert Farrell, U.S. Navy.
Richard Hooker, U.S. Army.
David Cotton, United States Navy.
We have a veteran pin. All of us have one.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate your service.
Thank you for your service. Next, we recognize any law enforcement present.
Danny Howe, Fulton County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Parkman, Cleveland County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you all. Thank you for your service. And last, we'll recognize any county department heads.
Chris Lawrence.
Logan Roberts, Staff Attorney.
Tiffany Hinton, Health and Human Services. Rebecca Johnson, Social Services. Sharon Lavender, Tax.
Josh 25, Washington, Ocean. Jason Paul, Public Relations.
All right, thank you all. Thank you for all you do. So before we adopt the agenda, I need to make this announcement. The public hearing for planning department case 26-14. This was a request to rezone parcels 3250, 5011, and 5013 from residential to manufactured homes and parks has been postponed until July the 14th by request of the applicant to allow further research and planning for the properties. So with that, first item on the agenda tonight is a motion to adopt the proposed agenda.
So moved.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Madam Clerk.
The public comment portion of a Board of Commissioners meeting is an opportunity for persons wishing to appear before the board to do so. Citizen speakers will be acknowledged in the order in which they signed up to speak and will address all comments to the board as a whole and not one individual commissioner. Speakers will address the board from the speaker's podium and will begin their remarks by saying their name and address. Discussions between speakers and members of the audience will not be allowed. Public comment is not intended to require the board to answer any impromptu questions. Speakers are expected to be civil in their language and presentation and are prohibited from using profanity or making threats of violence against any one person. All comments from the speakers shall be issue-oriented and directly related to a subject that the commissioners have oversight and authority. Each speaker is allotted 3 minutes to address the board. A speaker is not permitted to share, reserve, or relinquish any remaining time allocated to them to another speaker. Any comments where the primary purpose is to promote a business or candidacy shall not be allowed.
Thank you. We have several tonight. First one is Nicole Hazen. Hey there.
My name is Nicole Hazen. I am the new CEO with the Boys and Girls Club of Cleveland County. And so I wanted to come here and give you guys an update from myself. I know you guys have heard from my predecessor, Joshua Probst. And so I would like you to hear from me how we have been doing and what we've been doing in our community. Do you want my personal address or the club's address?
Club.
Club's 412 West Sumter Street. Shelby, North Carolina, 28150. So first I want to say thank you. I know I only have 3 minutes and I will try to be brief. It's not my strong suit. But I wanted to say thank you guys for your continued support. This year has been especially meaningful to the Boys and Girls Club of Cleveland County. It is our 60th anniversary in this community. Now, we have been here longer than that, but that was when we got incorporated to Boys and Girls Clubs of America in 1966. And so we remain as committed to the youth here in Cleveland County and its families that we serve throughout Cleveland County. Today, we operate 7 clubs across Cleveland County and employ 60 staff members, with the vast majority working directly with youth every day. And I'm excited to share that yesterday was our very first day of summer camp, and we served 212 kids across Cleveland County. That was 93 in Shelby, 20 in Boiling Springs, 56 in Upper Cleveland, and 43 in Kings Mountain. So it was a huge, successful day. And so I just want to say again how important that this club is to this community and how we continue to grow and serve the youth here in our community. Last year, we served 592 students and it was 36 hours of academic support and homework assistance, more than 65,000 healthy meals and snacks, over 100,000 hours of life skills and prevention education. 90% of our youth get a B or higher. 99% of our youth get a C average or higher. We are also proud that we continue to maintain a 100% graduation rate for our seniors. And as we look ahead, we remain focused on expanding opportunities for young people, strengthening our programs, and ensuring that families across Cleveland County continue to have access to affordable, high-quality youth development services. I would like to also recognize our board of directors, especially our board president, Susan Allen, and thank you for all the work that you do. Your dedication and hours that you have given to this organization has made a huge difference in what we do. So again, I just want to say thank you for your continued support of our organization and for helping us to serve families, kids across the entire county. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Will Mabry.
Good evening. I'm Will Mabry. I'm Executive Director of Cleveland Vocational Industries here in Shelby. I'm going to take about a minute and a half to express a little gratitude and also issue a couple invitations to you. First of all, I want to thank you for the opportunity to come before you back in March to let you know more about Cleveland Vocational, what we did, and for the citizens of Cleveland County and for the many disabled folks in this community. We do a lot of great things and support folks with intellectual developmental disabilities. And I want to also reissue my invitation for any of you or all of you to come by and take a visit and tour. We'd love to have you, make a wonderful impression on you for the rest of your life. In addition to that, I want to offer you some information about a new event we're going to have. You'll all receive a save the date in your emails in the next few weeks, but we're going to have a prom for about 70 disabled folks, anywhere from 21 to 84. And we're in the process of collecting prom gowns and suits from our staff and other folks. It'll be not going to be until August 21st on a Friday at the Dover YMCA. They've graciously allowed us to use their facility. We're going to be cooking lunch. We'll be there all day, so you can take your time and come by whenever it suits. But we'd love to have you. It'll be a lot of fun. You'll see a lot of happy faces and enjoying an event that most of them never dreamed they would have the opportunity to attend. So I hope you'll be able to join us. Thank you for your time, and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Dina Christian.
Hi, Dina Kristen. I don't have a title. I'm just me. 215 Eagle Cove Drive, Cherryville. I'd like to share the experiences of some Cleveland County residents who have been directly affected by our community's animal welfare crisis. Here are their words. A while back, we found 3 puppies on the side of the road and took them in. We tried to find them home with no luck. Every rescue we called was full, and the only option left was to take to the shelter, which we couldn't bring ourselves to do. We paid for vaccines and neutering. Unfortunately, we later learned about littermate syndrome and are confident these dogs have developed it. They've begun fighting severely and now pose a safety risk to one another. Another example. We had a stray male and pregnant female show up at our house. We decided to keep the male, help the female give birth, and tried to find homes for the puppies, but could only place 2. Mother's been vaccinated, but the puppy's only dewormed. Everyone we know who would normally help cannot take another one. These are not isolated incidents. They are the predictable result of an unchecked cycle of dog overpopulation. Citizens spend their own money on food, vaccines, and vet care. They devote time to finding homes. Meanwhile, dogs continue to be bred and puppies given away. Consider one example. A woman in Shelby has had litters in 2024, 25, and 26 and gives the puppies away. If only half of these puppies and their descendants go on to produce just 1 litter each, that single source is conservatively responsible for more than 6,000 puppies in 5 generations. She may never abandon a dog herself, but free and low-cost puppies often end up in homes that do not provide adequate care. Last week, a single social media post seeking a puppy generated approximately 80 offers, most of them free, within hours. Those 80 become 29,000, with only half reproducing once each generation over 5 generations. No one expects that many dogs to actually exist. The early generations will die, often from preventable causes. Others will become someone else's responsibility. That is precisely why the number matters. The growth potential is limited by suffering, death, and public expense. Our resources are consumed by a preventable problem, leaving citizens to fill in those gaps. Over the past 4 months, CCAS has averaged 119 dog intakes per month. That doesn't include dogs taken in by citizens, rescues, or those that never make it. We are in a crisis. Taxpayers are paying for it, and citizens are bearing the emotional and financial burden. The question is no longer whether dog overpopulation affects our community. The evidence is all around us. The real question is how long Cleveland County residents will be burdened with the financial costs, emotional strain, and public safety risks created by an unchecked cycle of irresponsible breeding and overpopulation. It needs to be regulated. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Robert Farrell.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Commissioners. My name is Robert Farrow, 512 Country Club Acres here in Shelby. I was born and raised in Shelby. I spent 20 years in the United States Navy as an air traffic controller and spent an additional 17 years working for the Department of Defense before happily returning to my hometown. I'm honored to speak tonight on behalf of the American Legion World Series Steering Committee to express our sincere gratitude to your dedicated public service over the past year. We want to thank you for your hard work and thoughtful leadership throughout the 2025 property revaluation process and the development of the annual county budget. Those efforts require time, sound judgment, and a strong commitment to serving the people of Cleveland County. We're also grateful to Chairman Kevin Gordon for his steady leadership during these important efforts. His guidance helped the board navigate complex issues while keeping the best interests of Cleveland County at the forefront. Following this revaluation, the board reduced the county property tax rate by roughly 25% to help keep the overall tax burden stable for residents and businesses. As you look ahead, we also want you to emphasize the importance of continued support for travel and tourism budget. Those funds help promote Cleveland County, strengthen local businesses, and support economic growth. The American Legion World Series, which has called Shelby its permanent home since 2011, draws thousands of people to our county each year and brings meaningful national recognition to our community. Your continued support further expands its impact on our local economy and our visibility nationwide. As one of only 4 National World Series tournaments in the United States, this event generates an estimated economic impact of $3 to $6 million annually. Over the past 15 years, that's translated into a cumulative effect, a contribution of $45 to $90 million just for Cleveland County. We're already seeing that momentum in our local hospitality sector. The Town Place Marriott Suites in Shelby is expected to open later this year. and the hotel component of the Two Kings Casino Resort is expected to open early next year. Continued support for tourism initiatives, including sports tourism, will help ensure long-term growth and prosperity for our residents. We want to thank you again for your service and your continued commitment to the citizens of Cleveland County. We value your partnership, and we look forward to working together to build an even stronger future for our community. Thank you.
Next is Gary Spangler.
Thank you, Chairman Gordon and Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be here to speak with y'all tonight. My name is Gary Spangler, 215 Jones Road, Shelby, North Carolina, 28150. I'm here to basically echo what Mr. Farrell just repeated, or what he said there. Just going to echo that. I have grown up in Cleveland County. I've been a sports fan my whole life. And so it was my pleasure when I was asked back in the early 2000s to become part of the American Legion to think about bringing the World Series to Cleveland County. As some of y'all went with us, we made a trip to Indianapolis, and we were fortunate enough to bring that World Series back here. We have seen that to continue to grow, and would like to continue to see that to grow. And so we're here just to thank you for your support that you have given us over the past several years. And we just ask that you would continue to support our event. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Next, we have Millie Holbrook.
Chairperson and members of the board, my name's Millie Keeter Holbrook. I live at 201 Troon Place in Shelby, North Carolina. And obviously I grew up here and have moved back here. So I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here to address all of you tonight. All of us at the American Legion World Series, Cleveland County and Shelby want to thank you for your committed yearly commitment and support of the National American Legion World Series here in Cleveland County. And I may replicate a couple of things that they said, but anyway, it's worth the honor. It is a distinct honor to host this special event in our community, and Shelby and Cleveland County now stand alongside 3 other nationally recognized World Series sites: Williamsport, PA, home of the Little League World Series; Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the Women's Collegiate World Series; and Omaha, Nebraska, home of the Men's Collegiate World Series. To earn that kind of national attention and to be counted among those storied locations is a testament to what this community and this board help us build. The event would not be held here without the tremendous support of Cleveland County, the city of Shelby, the state of North Carolina, and the major sponsors, both businesses and individuals whose generosity has made it all possible. We want to recognize some people by name because they deserve it. Commissioner Hutchins, he flew to Indianapolis to stand with us as we made our bid proposal, and he was not alone. 100 orange-shirted supporters made that weekend bus trip to the National American Legion headquarters alongside us, showing the world exactly what kind of community Cleveland County is. That kind of showing wins bids, and we are deeply grateful. We also acknowledge and thank Commissioners Bridges and Berry for their willingness to continue supporting us as we move forward. And a very special thank you to Chairman Gordon for his tremendous support in his efforts to improve our facilities and expand our vision moving forward. His leadership has made a real and lasting difference. And what began as a dream has grown into something very remarkable. Since 2011, the American Legion World Series has become the largest travel tourism event in Cleveland County, touting Cleveland County as the 3rd large travel tourism county in the state. It has proven to be a powerful economic development project with a tremendous positive return on investment. It has gained national and worldwide attention, and it has grown every single year. We look forward to our continued work with you by making Cleveland County an even more special place for its citizens. And on behalf of everyone connected to the American Legion World Series of Cleveland County, we say thank you.
All right, thank you all. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. We've been presented the items of the consent agenda. So at this time, I entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Make a motion for the presented.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor will say aye. Aye. Anybody opposed? That motion carries unanimous. Next, we have several public hearings, I think 4 total. 5 total. So at this time, Madam Clerk.
After the public hearing has been opened, citizen speakers will be acknowledged in the order in which they signed up to speak and will address all comments to the board as a whole and not one individual commissioner. Speakers will address the board from the speaker's podium at the front of the room and will begin their remarks by stating their name and address. Discussions between speakers and members of the audience will not be allowed. A public hearing is not intended to require the board to answer any impromptu questions. Speakers are expected to be civil in their language and presentation. All comments from the speaker shall be directly related to the subject of the public hearing. Each speaker is allotted 5 minutes to address the board. A speaker is not permitted to share, reserve, or relinquish any remaining time allocated to them to another speaker.
Thank you, ma'am. The first 4 are planning related, so I'll recognize Chris Martin, our planning director, for all these. The first one is Planning Department Case 26-10. This is a code amendment for notification requirements for quasi judicial hearings and legislative rezoning hearings. Chris?
Thank you, Chair. I've got a variety of items for you tonight for your consideration. Have a text amendment, a couple rezoning requests, and then I've got a right-of-way closing request for you tonight. First item is a text amendment. This item's being brought to you by the planning staff. The proposal would change the notice requirements in our ordinance pertaining to public hearings. Those would be for both rezonings and legislative hearings that come to this board, and it would apply also to judicial style hearings that go to our Board of Adjustment. And those are covered under sections 12-77 and 12-323. 1277 is related to the quasi-judicial Board of Adjustment hearings, and 323 is related to the legislative Board of Commissioner hearings. The proposed ordinance, well, first of all, the current ordinance requires that notice be mailed to current property owners, or excuse me, adjoining property owners of a subject property. So in a scenario where a request is made to change the zoning district of a subject property, letters are mailed to any property that abuts or adjoins that subject property. What is being proposed would change that and extend that to reach properties that are within 500 feet of the subject property. So the 2 sections of our ordinance, the first, you can see the language that was changed. There's a strikeout of adjoining, and then there's an addition of within 500 feet. So that would change the required notice for property owners for all of your quasi-judicial hearings. And then the second proposed ordinance pertains to the rezoning cases. And there's a paragraph added that basically requires letters to be mailed to all property owners within 500 feet of the subject property. And it would change the current ordinance, only allowing letters to be mailed to adjoiners. We've drawn up a couple scenarios with you for your review, and to really just show you what that might look like. The property that's highlighted in red is a 1 acre square parcel in Cleveland County. It's in what I consider just a typical rural county residential area. There's a combination of small parcels and large tracts of land around it. And so the properties that are shaded in blue would receive a mailed notice under the current ordinance. The properties that are shaded in green would receive a notice with the change of 500 feet. The second scenario takes a larger tract of land, closer to 100 acres, and it also shows you what would happen and how this change would affect the notice requirement or the notice procedure. The property shaded in blue would receive a notice under the current ordinance, and then the green would receive a notice with the change ordinance of 500 feet. I think in both scenarios, what you can see is that you're basically doubling your notices. A typical 1 acre lot is a couple hundred feet deep by a couple hundred feet wide. So when you think about 500 feet, you're really extending to the second row of parcels beyond the adjoiner. So you're doubling the amount of notices that are mailed. We've shared this item with the planning board, and you know the reason for this change is that the conversation, you know, in years past is how do we be sure that we're reaching all affected property owners when we have a change while complying with general statute, which says you've got to at least mail to adjoining property owners. So what we've done is we've started with this 500-foot requirement, and we've shared this with the planning board, and they commented that this seems reasonable and accomplishes that goal of reaching to all affected property owners while still maintaining the general statute requirement. And this item does require a public hearing, and we ask that you consider any comments that you hear at the hearing and the planning board's recommendation. And I can answer any questions.
Thank you, Chris. We'll do questions. I add one comment. This came also at the request of the Ag Advisory Board as well to consider, right?
That's correct.
All right. So commissioners, are there any questions at this point? All right, here none. At this time, I'll declare the public hearing open. No one signed up to speak for or against or to discuss this, so I'll now declare the public hearing closed. So back to the board to deliberate. Unless you have questions of Chris.
I'd make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion?
Just, I think it's a great idea, the more people that we notify, because occasionally we'll have a public hearing and somebody come up, I didn't hear about it till this morning. So, I think it's a great,
So with that, they'll get the letter as identified here, but the signs will still go up and it still be published in the paper as well.
That's correct. That part will be unchanged. There will still be a sign and published in the paper.
So all this changes is the letters that we mail out. All right, here no other discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? That motion carries unanimous. So I recognize Chris again. So this is planning case 26-12. This is a request to rezone parcel 24534, which is located at 643 East Sanders Road from rural agriculture to residential. Chris?
Thank you. So the second request is from the property owner. They are asking you to consider changing the zoning of the property, parcel 24534. Property owner is James Burrows, and the property for consideration is on East Sanders Road, 643 East Sanders Road. It's located between Shelby and Falston, just off of Highway 18. It's about 1.5 acres in size, and what he's specifically asking for is to change the district from the rural ag zoning district to the regular residential zoning district. There's a couple of differences between those two districts, namely the lot size. The rural ag requires a minimum lot size of 3 acres, while the residential district allows properties down to 1/2 acre in lot size. There's some similarities. First being that both districts allow residential uses, single-family dwellings, and manufactured homes. Both districts are limited in commercial uses, and while they both also promote agricultural uses. So the main difference between these two districts is the lot size. This particular property is 1.5 acres. It's highlighted in red, and you can see the character of the area consists of both small residential lots and some larger tracts of property across the road. And here is a street view off of Google Maps, just kind of giving you a picture and a vision of that area. Your zoning districts in this area are also mixed. The green represents the rural ag district, which is the current zoning district of the property, and the white represents residential, which is just across the road. Our land use plan designates this area as secondary growth, and I always mention that because anytime we have a zoning case, statute requires that we consider what our land use plan says and determine how our the result fits in with that land use plan. So, and again, the property is between Shelby and Boston. It's the red star. You can see it's about halfway between those, and it sits in a larger secondary growth area of the county. Our planning board recommends approval. They basically saw this as an extension or a redrawing of that district line to surround this tract, an extension of an existing zoning district. And they felt that the requested district would be compatible with the area around it. And you'll hold a hearing tonight, and we ask that you consider any comments, land use plan designation, and planning board recommendation. I can answer any questions.
Thank you, sir. Board, before we hold the public hearing, are there any questions? All right, hearing none at this time, the public hearing is now open. We had nobody to sign up again, right?
Correct.
So the public hearing is now closed. So it's back before us to deliberate. What's the desire of the board?
I'll make a motion that we approve.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? I hear none, all in favor say aye. Anyone opposed? That too carries unanimous. All right, Chris, we have another one. So this is planning case 26-13. This is a request to rezone parcel 51487 from general business to residential.
Yes, so you've got a second request for a zoning district change, also from the property owner, and that is Colin Myers. Property is 51487, and it's located at 1649 County Line Road. It's about a half acre in size, and his particular request is to change it from the general business district to the residential district. Differences in those two districts, as you can imagine, is that the general business is it's your basic commercial district. No residential is allowed. You'll find a lot of retail, professional, office uses, and warehousing distribution uses allowed. While the requested district is your traditional residential district, very limited in commercial, mostly single-family dwelling, manufactured homes, and multifamily development. Lot size is half acre for residential, no minimum lot size for general business. The property in question is, again, it's located on County Line Road, and that road is on the eastern side of the county, and it's named County Line Road because it travels the county line between Cleveland and Gaston County. The property, you can see it's surrounded by some large tracts that's being used for agriculture purposes. And then there's some smaller residential parcels to the east and then south traveling towards Kings Mountain. The surrounding zoning districts, let's see if I've got a zoning map. There's a zoning map. So the surrounding zoning districts are general business. The property, this particular property and those around it were zoned as general business, I believe, when at the inception of zoning in 2001. They've not been developed as general business. You can see the white area is zoned as residential, and then the yellow is another version of residential, our restricted residential. Our land use plan calls this area secondary growth, and its residential uses and residential development would be consistent with this land use plan designation. Our planning board has reviewed the case, and they recommend approval. And they commented that the requested district was compatible and similar to the uses surrounding the property. And again, you'll hold a public hearing and consider any comments and land use plan recommendation, and I can answer any questions.
Before we open the public hearing, does anybody have any questions? Thank you, Chris. Hearing no questions, this time the public hearing is now open. And we have one, Mr. Myers, Colin Myers. Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Colin Myers. I live at 235 Urbana Street in Charlotte, North Carolina. I grew up here. I was born in Shelby, and then grew up in Kings Mountain, and I still have family here in Kings Mountain, so I bought this piece of land. It does already have a septic system on it that was approved for a 3-bedroom house. So yeah, I just bought this land 6 months ago around there, and just want to be able to put just one single family residential home on that land. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With that, the public hearing is now closed. So it's back to us to deliberate as a board. So any follow-up questions or comments?
I've visited all these sites and I find that to be very compatible with the area, so I'd be glad to make the motion that we accept.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? So that carries unanimous. So Chris, we have one more. So the last case is to abandon a public right of way of 107 Valentine Drive.
Yep, so we got a fourth item for you tonight. It's not one we see every month, but it's a type of request that this board has the authority to hear, and we do bring these to you occasionally. But it's a request to close an easement or close a right of way. The applicant is Don Peeler, also one of the adjoining property owners. The location of this particular right of way is that it intersects off of Valentine Drive, which is a road that intersects Huey Church Road, east of Shelby. And the request is again to close the right-of-way, and a little bit of information about the right-of-way is that it's approximately 650 feet in length, and it's considered a 40-foot wide right-of-way, and it is unnamed. This ability is granted to this board by the general statute. And, you know, the reason is really when developers subdivide property and record plats, many times the right-of-ways that were recorded were never developed. So this is a method described by statute that property owners surrounding a right-of-way can request the board to close those right-of-ways. And so that's what you have here tonight. And so this right-of-way is highlighted in yellow. You can see it intersects Valentine Drive, which is off of Huey Church Road, which runs parallel with Highway 74 just east of Shelby. The surrounding properties are owned by the Hamricks to the south and Mr. Peeler to the north. There is a drive that serves as an access to the use on the southern property. And so if approved, the right-of-way from Valentine Drive to the end of the Peeler and Hamrick property would be closed. And the right-of-way would then be split down the middle and either side granted to those property owners. With these requests, our statutes require a procedure, a notification procedure. They first require that this board adopt a resolution of intent, which you adopted at your May 5th meeting. And then there's some notification requirements consisting of mail notice, signs, and postings in the paper. And all of those have been accomplished by planning staff. And then it also requires public hearing, which is what we're going to hold tonight. And again, once, you know, if it's approved, then the right-of-way split down the middle, and then either side is then mapped to the property owners. Our statutes gives us some guidance in making the decision, and basically states that if after the hearing the commissioners are satisfied that closing the public road is not contrary to the public interest, and that no property owner in the vicinity of the road or the subdivision would be deprived of reasonable means of ingress or ingress to their property, the board may adopt an order closing the easement. So that would be the purpose of your hearing at this meeting, is to consider any comment and determine if there's a detriment to those property owners in closing the easement. And so your requested action would be to hold a public hearing, and then after hearing comment, you may approve or deny the request.
Thank you, sir. Any questions or comments from the board before we start?
My only concern would be just to clarify what I think I heard you say, and this in no way will affect anybody access to their property that they own.
Yeah, so there's 4 parcels that adjoin the right-of-way. It may be easier to see with the black and white photo. The 2 to the north are owned by Mr. Peeler, and this property has access with other public right-of-ways, both Huey Church Road and Valentine Drive, at least on paper. And then he's also the one that has requested this action be taken. And then the property to the south is owned by Hamricks, and they've got access. They actually have a drive that's in the right-of-way, but then the property also has road frontage along Valentine Drive. There's a smaller tract that's also owned by the petitioner, Mr. Peeler, and then there's a 4th parcel with a house that's currently vacant, and the drive for this home is accessed off Huey Church Road. And the owner of this parcel is also the owner of the parcel just in front of it, between the parcel and Huey Church Road. The planning staff does not believe that there would be any parcel left that would remain landlocked or would not have some sort of access to a right-of-way.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none, at this time, I'll declare the public hearing open, and we have two citizens signed up to speak, so at this time I'll recognize Mr. Peeler.
Chairman Gordon, Commissioners, folks. Appreciate this opportunity to speak to you tonight. The reason for asking to close this right away is simply to build some more affordable housing in Shelby. My last 40 years, done quite a bit of that in and around Cleveland County. And that seems to be the buzzword these days in our industry, affordable housing, affordable housing. This is in the last 5 years, we've built about 50 of these houses in the $200,000 to $350,000 range, and they've gone over real well. Some of y'all may have seen some of our work in the 800 block of West Warren Street. We took 2 lots there and built some affordable housing there. I think those houses sold for around $230,000, which is about a year and a half ago. Since then, we built many more in the $200,000 to $300,000 range. Anyway, that seems to be the buzzword these days in a hot spot for the demand for the product. So that's the whole reason for closing the right of way. We will bring our driveways a little further back. It's going to give us a little extra room for our septic tanks. There is sewer availability there from the city of Shelby, but the cost is just prohibitive for us to develop that. We've got 5 lots in mind for single family houses, and each one of them will require a septic tank, which is going to require X amount of land for the tank in the drain field. Closing the right of way will give us 20 more extra feet. By the way, we have the Hamricks that join us on the south there have been very nice to me in agreeing to joint venture with us to get this right away closed. Tiny Tots daycare is to the south of us, for those of y'all that know Miss Hamrick, and she's been very nice to work with us on this project. Hopefully it'll come to fruition within the next year, and you'll see 5 affordable houses there. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Be glad to answer any questions. Let me add one other thing. Chris Martin has been great to work with. All the folks at Cleveland County, from our application process, the paperwork, everyone at the county's been real nice and easy to work with, and makes me proud to live in Cleveland County.
Thank you, sir. So next, I recognize Delton Barnes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My office is located at 5 East Marion Street, Suite 4 here in Shelby. I'm an attorney, and I actually represent the Hamricks, who own that parcel there south of this right-of-way, and I'm here to join in Mr. Peeler's request that asks that you grant his application and close that right away. But I wanted to give you just a little bit more information. One of the things I think we're all concerned about as citizens of Cleveland County is things like growth and development. And there really are only 2 owners adjacent to this right of way that would be affected by this. And Mr. Peeler is engaged in development in our community. And Miss Hamrick owns a daycare there that is very successful. And she's certainly investing in the growth of our young people as she stewards them day to day. And when I was asked to sort of assist the Hamricks and make sure that this everything was going to go the way the property owners there needed it to be, I was sort of inspired in that we come for the government assistance to, y'all have the authority to close an old right of way that just never was utilized. It was a great plan at the time as your plan director spoke about, but it just never actually developed. Well, now we have real people who are utilizing this property and have a clear vision and have worked together outside of the government to have a vision for what is going to be within their neighborhood. I think that is a great opportunity. I want to make sure that y'all understand that there is a plan regarding the future or the current infrastructure, that driveway that is there, that all the parties have agreed to. And so I stand here today on behalf of the Hamricks. I thank you for your time and let me speak here, and I ask that you grant Mr. Peeler's request. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So at this time, the public hearing is now closed. You want to comment on that?
Just briefly, Chairman, members of the board, if a motion is brought forward on this, just semantically to allow the statute to approve, for instance, this, if that's the will of the board, I would just recommend that the word order be incorporated into that motion, because what the board is doing is ordering the closure of the right of way, just to align with statute. Thanks.
I would make that motion.
Look, I don't think, did I close the public hearing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, you did.
All right, so now, any discussion?
No.
All right, so now, Commissioner Berry,
I would make the motion that we do approve.
I'll second.
with
But make it.
his order.
Yeah.
Okay. So the motion that you're making is in accordance with the recommendation of the attorney, and that is to close the right of way.
Yes, sir.
All right, Johnny, you second that, right? Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor will say aye. Anyone opposed? All right, that motion carries unanimous. All right, so next I'll recognize County Manager David Cotton. He's gonna present, a brief overview of the county's fiscal year budget for 2026 through 27. This will be an overview of his recommendation last week, and then we'll open the public hearing on the annual, budget process.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, members of the public. It is my privilege to be the one to present arguably the most important, single most important planning document that any local government puts together on an annual basis. And what I have before you, before we open the public hearing, is the fiscal year 26-27 budget presentation. Just in a real high level, it does comport with General Statute 159, which is known as the Local Government Budget and Fiscal Control Act. Of equal importance, it does reflect and incorporate the Commissioner's vision, priorities, goals, and objectives. I do recommend maintaining the current tax rate, the county's tax rate at 40.5 cents, public schools at 14 cents, and our fire district at 7 cents. Overall, all total funds is 264 million approximately, which is 300 million under the current year's total budget. And I know you're looking at that and it's a 53% increase. I wish I could take credit for all of that, but that is primarily tied to grants and loan proceeds and one-time monies. What is really important, I think, here is our general fund. At 117 million, it does reflect almost a $3 million decrease under our current fiscal year. Enterprise fund, which is our solid waste, at 17.7 million. Again, another huge decrease at 10 million, but almost penny for penny, that is the money that we borrowed for the expansion and construction of Cell 4. So in whole dollars, taking out the construction capital, it's about a push, or 17.7 million. So no real growth, no decrease overall in our enterprise fund. And with that, I'll step back and answer any questions the board may have.
All right, does the board have any questions before we open the public hearing?
I think that I asked that question when you made the proposal last time, but that $10 million that oil from landfill, they pay it back off of their own revenue. It's not tax dollars because they're
Enterprise fund.
yeah.
Yes, sir. 100% correct. The debt service associated with solid waste is satisfied with fees generated through solid waste.
Anybody else?
I would like to just commend and comment to our county manager that we actually had cuts in departments for this budget, which in my time here, that hasn't been the case. I'm sure it was prior to my time here, but I know there's been a lot of hard work put into this, and thank you for that. And glad to see us looking at how we can cut back without affecting the services that our county deserves and our citizens deserve.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Yep. Thank you, David. All right, so this time I'll declare the public hearing open for fiscal year 2026 to 2027 fiscal year budget. So this budget will take effect July 1st and it will expire June 30th of next year. So at this time, the first one is Shelley Shope. Alan Langley.
Just a procedural question, Madam Clerk. Since Will left a minute and 22 seconds, can I have his? Oh, I can't. Okay, just checking. just wondering. Alan Langley, 306 Windsor Drive, Shelby, North Carolina, 28150. Good evening, Chairman Gordon, Commissioners, County Manager, and guest. Happy birthday, Commissioner Berry. Just wanted to throw that in. My name's Alan Langley, and I'm a proud Cleveland Community College trustee. With me this evening are several trustees who were appointed to serve on the Community College Board of Trustees by the Commission. And at this time, I would like to introduce them to you. Of course, Commissioner Gordon, Jamie Petty Dellinger. That Dellinger always throws me off. Mr. Craig DeBrew, and the Right Reverend Lamont Littlejohn. Now, not appointed to you, Mr. Wayne King, and then I would want to also introduce our esteemed president, Dr. Jason Hurst. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here, and Benny. And would like to recognize two of you on the board that were past trustees, Mr. Tony Berry and Mr. Johnny Hutchins. Thank you for your service and the time you spent with us. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, thank you for your continued support of Cleveland Community College, the students we serve, and for the opportunity to address you all tonight. Over the past 5 years, Cleveland Community College has experienced tremendous growth and transformation, increasing more than 41%. CCC has become much more than a place for affordable higher education. It has become a driving force in the workforce development and economic growth throughout Cleveland County. More importantly, the college has consistently ranked above the highest performing community colleges in North Carolina and was recognized as the top performing community college in the state in 2023. Every day, your community college works to develop and train skilled workforce our local employees depend on. Over the last decade, we have launched more than a dozen new programs in areas such as healthcare, advanced manufacturing, skilled trades, public safety, transportation, and technology, all designed to meet the ever-evolving needs of local businesses and industry. This past year, 4 programs earned state or national reaccreditation, while 2 additional programs have pursued national accreditation. Commissioners, I want you to know that the college you fund remains laser-focused on ensuring that communities and industry partners have the skilled workforce that they need to succeed. We have significantly expanded apprenticeships, co-ops, and internships with local employers. Your vision also helped make possible the relocation of the Cleveland County Economic Development Partnership on our campus, allowing prospective industries to see firsthand the quality of workforce training available at CCC. In addition, we partner with NC Works to relocate their offices to our campus, providing essential employment and career services to citizens of Cleveland County. Cleveland Community College continues to expand its footprint. Our prison education campus continues to offer skilled trades, programs to inmates from Lincoln Correctional Center, helping individuals gain employment through and have been proven to reduce their reentry into the prison system and create second chances after release. And this board generously provided 25 acres that became what is now known as our North Campus, which today houses truck driving training, heavy equipment operator training, animal science programs, and beginning this fall, our new diesel mechanic program. We are also working hard to change the perception of community college education through new marketing initiatives, expanding outreach, and renewing focus on student success. We have strengthened awareness of the opportunities available at CCC. We have invested in all new facilities, renovated existing spaces, expanded student support services, and created learning involvements that reflect the quality and innovation of students and community deserve. As a result, we recently celebrated a record number of graduates for the 4th consecutive years, awarding more than 1,300 credentials this academic year alone. Including as that number were 195 associate degrees earned by high school students through our dual enrollment program. Students and graduated from the college degrees before receiving their high school diploma saves lots of money for students and families throughout our county. None of these accomplishments happened by accident. They were made possible through the support of partners like Cleveland County Board of Commissioners. For that support, we sincerely thank you. An investment in Cleveland Community College is truly an investment in the future of our students and workforce and our local economy. As you consider the proposal tonight, I ask for your continued support of Cleveland Community College and the important work that we do every day to serve the citizens in Cleveland, of Cleveland County. As the longest-serving trustee at CCC and a local business owner, I have seen firsthand the impact of your commitment to education and workforce development. Thank you again for your time, your partnership, and your continued investment in our community.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. If you have any questions, Dr. Hertz is here to answer them.
Next is Wayne King.
Get my glasses on here where I can read what I wrote. Thank you, Chairman Gordon, members of the commission. I appreciate the opportunity to speak on the 26-27 budget presentation that Mr. Cotton laid out for you tonight. My name is Wayne King. I reside at 304 Liberty Court in Kings Mountain. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to address you tonight. I believe County Manager Cotton has presented an excellent budget that reflects sound fiscal management, prioritizes the needs of our citizens, and continues investing in the future of Cleveland County. A few highlights that I'd like to mention. This budget does not include a tax increase. It prioritizes public safety and continues investing in our EMS services, Sheriff's Office, and Fire Service. It adds positions in EMS, which will help reduce response time for citizens who need emergency medical services. It provides a pay increase for the county employees who do a phenomenal job serving the residents of Cleveland County. As County Manager David Cotton stated during the budget presentation last meeting, county employees are the greatest asset, and I couldn't agree more. It reduces spending, as Commissioner Berry pointed out, in several county departments, demonstrating responsible stewardship of taxpayer dollars. As a longtime trustee at Cleveland Community College and chairman of the college's finance committee, I especially applaud the proposed increase in funding for the community college. The college has experienced tremendous growth, as Chairman Langley said, setting graduation records during each in the last 4 years. Cleveland Community College has been the fastest growing community college in North Carolina among the state's 58 community colleges in the past 5 years, with enrollment increasing over 40%. The continued success of Cleveland County's economic development efforts and workforce needs depends heavily on the community college's ability to prepare skilled workers for the existing industries and future economic opportunities. This budget also recognized the importance of community impact projects and organizations providing supportive collaborative projects such as the Washington Outreach Ministry, the Boys and Girls Club of Cleveland County, the Earl Scruggs Center, the American Legion World Series, and many others. These organizations enhance the quality of life for residents throughout Cleveland County and contribute significantly to the strength of our community. With that being said, I would encourage you to vote yes on the budget tonight, and appreciate your service to the county and your commitment to the county. Thank you very much.
Clint Bean.
Good evening. Clint Bean, 221 East Graham Street, Shelby, 28150. So, yes, sir. Thank you to all y'all. Thank you to a big representation of the fire service here tonight. Just wanted to speak in support. So, my name is Clint Beam. I'm the fire chief of Cleveland Volunteer Fire Department and president of the Cleveland County Firefighters Association. On behalf of the Firefighters Association, I would like to express our support for the proposed Cleveland County budget for fiscal year 26-27 and its continued investment in public safety. As Cleveland County continues to grow, the demands placed upon our fire service, emergency response system, and public safety personnel continue to increase as well. This budget demonstrates a commitment to maintaining a high level of fire protection, emergency medical response, and community service that our citizens expect and deserve. We appreciate the board's continued recognition of the importance of properly funding fire and emergency services, including staffing, training, equipment, and infrastructure needs. These are all investments that directly impact the safety of both our firefighters and the residents that we serve every day. The County Firefighter Association values the strong working relationship that we have with the board. It exists between us, county leadership, and the fire service community. We look forward to continuing that partnership as we work together to meet the future needs of our county. Again, thank you from the county firefighters and emergency responders. And again, thanks to all of y'all that are here that have an investment in your county, whether it's for the budget or your other things. It's impressive to sit and see what people are interested in. So again, thank y'all. Thank you, Mr. Cotton, for the hard work you've done. It is a very important document. And thank you again. Have a good night.
Thanks, sir. Next, I recognize Craig DeBrew.
Good evening, Chairman Gordon and members of the Board of Commissioners. I'm Craig DeBrew, and I live at 2621 Flagstone Court in Shelby. And I want to start by saying thank you. First, thank you for your willingness to serve the citizens of Cleveland County on the Board of Commissioners. And secondly, I want to thank you for putting your confidence in me by appointing me to the Board of Trustees at Cleveland Community College. It has been an honor to serve on that board over the last 8 years and to help support the college while it has made tremendous strides in fulfilling its mission to the citizens of our county. It has been a period of transformation, unprecedented growth, and remarkable student achievement. As you've heard already, exciting things are happening at the college, and the community is recognizing that fact. Enrollment is up, and so is financial support from the community. As you know, the college received its largest ever private gift, $3 million, earlier this year. The college is strengthening its role as a key workforce and economic development engine for Cleveland County and the surrounding region. And of course, it takes partnerships and it takes funding to accomplish that. I'm proud that Duke Energy has partnered with the college on a number of initiatives over the years, including the Line Worker Academy. Later this week, the college will graduate its 35th Line Worker Academy with a total of 598 graduates since the program's inception in 2017. Duke Energy has provided over $600,000 to the college over the past 9 years to support this program, and we currently have approximately 40 employees who are graduates of the program. As a trustee of the college, I'm extremely proud of the work that we are doing to drive student success and economic impact for individuals and businesses in our community. So as you work to take action on this proposed budget this evening, I just want to thank you for your continued support of the college. I believe that it's funding the college is certainly money well spent. It's certainly an investment to the future success of our community. So we appreciate your support, and we look forward to ongoing partnership with the county.
Thanks, sir. So recognize Reverend Weber.
Good afternoon. I'm Reverend Francis Weber, the Executive Director of Washington Outreach Ministry at 2007 Capernaum Road in Cherville, North Carolina. I want to thank you this afternoon for having the opportunity to come, and I want to thank you for my team because my lead team is here, the ones that support us. There's a lot of good things going on in Cleveland County, a lot of good work as we've heard here tonight. But with gratitude, we thank you for your community support. Washington Outreach Ministry serves as a beacon of hope for Cleveland County in food insecurity. But we still got a lot of work to do, even with all the good things that are going on around us. We thank you for keeping us in your budget. According to the data, Cleveland County is considered one of the most distressed counties in North Carolina. Take time to pull it up, the information. And we have tried over the years to change that number. And I think we're at the point now where we're getting to a place where the community is recognizing what we're doing in the community to change that. Cleveland County is considered a Tier 1 county, listed in the most distressed category, and a lot of people don't realize that. And I think when everybody realizes what we're doing and why we're trying to do it, information and education is very important to get everything up to the standard that it needs to be to have a better community. 1 in every 6 families face food insecurity. That is about 17,000 people, which is the number of people we serve monthly in Cleveland County. With the government current budget cuts, food in North Carolina, the SNAP reduction program, high gas prices, high food prices, high utility costs, the high medical costs, the increase of inflation, your help has made a difference to help us keep Cleveland County secured. 59% of children face hunger during the summer months. Family budgets are being stretched. We see it every day. We hear the stories because we're in the community. We hear the stories, we see exactly what's going on. We're in the trenches. We take our programs throughout Cleveland County to marginalized communities and low-income communities because somebody has to focus on that area to bring everything up to par, along with what's going on with the community colleges and everything else. All it takes is one major car repair, one unexpected medical emergency, one lost paycheck to put a family at risk to hunger. And suddenly a family who was just getting by face empty cabinets and impossible choices. this is happening here in Cleveland County. And Washington Outreach is our 31 year. And it took us a while to get to the place where we're really affecting and impacting the community, where people realize the work that we have established, the resiliency that we have put in this, and to make sure that our families are fed. The partnership, the collaboration that has been created is what's needed to support the health and the wealth of Cleveland County. Our focus is to build better communities, stronger communities, bonding families, capacity building. We do it together. We're trying to give a hand up and not always a handout. We provide information, education to community partners. We have formed a huge partnership of collaboration in Cleveland County. We are trying to teach other communities about sustainability, resources. We do it together. We learn to do what we can with what we have and where we are. And God gives the increase. But thank you for what you've done for us. Thank you, Kevin, for being easy to communicate with, easy to talk to have a listening ear. Thank you all for helping us to be a beacon of hope for Cleveland County. And thank you for your continued support.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Monica Browner.
Good evening. I'm Monica Browner, Community Math Academy, Director of Operations, Cleveland, address 400 West Marion Street, Shelby, North Carolina, 28150. Mrs. McClooney could not be with us this evening. She had an out-of-town emergency. The Community Math Academy is a 501c3 organization investing in the lives of students and families through math, providing opportunities for students in grades 3rd through 9th. I have with me this evening Community Math Academy Board Chair Larry Corey and Board Member Richard Hooker. We instill the I am, I can, I will spirit in our students. We would like to share one of the many positive outcomes and testimonials. Also with us is Ms. Monty McKissick, who would like to share her experience.
Being in a leadership role with the Math Academy has taught me so much. I've been able to have a positive impact on kids by being a role model for the youth and leading by example. I really got to set the tone of being a role model and showing children how much they can accomplish by working hard and putting forth the utmost effort. I assisted with playing educational games with the kids, helping with disciplining them, and also being that shoulder that they could lean on if they needed it. I let them know that it was a time to play and there's a time to work and be serious. I had such a positive impact on these kids that I even had friends calling me to tell me that their siblings missed me. I saw others in the community and they would even ask me if I would be there again. I also let them know that I've done Math Academy before just like them and all of the other student fellows. You can be and do great things. All in all, this experience was phenomenal and I would love to do it again. Thank you for your time.
On behalf of the Community Math Academy, we sincerely thank you for your time, consideration, and continued commitment to support initiatives that strengthen and benefit our children, families, and community. We deeply appreciate the opportunity to present our proposal and share our vision for positive impact and service. We respectfully request your favorable consideration and approval of our pending proposal. Your support will help us continue providing meaningful programs and resources that benefit students and families throughout the Cleveland County community. We are grateful for your leadership, partnership, and dedication to improving the lives of those you serve. We have 4 sites at Palmer Grove in Kingstown, Shiloh Baptist Church here in Shelby, and Cleveland Community College here in Shelby, Mount Zion Baptist Church in Kings Mountain. So we extend an invitation for you to come visit. We are in session July 7th through 24th 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. daily. Thank you again for your consideration and support.
Those are the last speakers for the night. So at this time, public hearing is now closed. Thank you all that took time to speak for various topics tonight. Your input is very valuable to the board and to the county. So thank you guys for that. So as I said, now the public hearing is closed. So at this time is for the fiscal year 26-27 recommended budget from the managers to the board for deliberation. At this time, is there any? I entertain any motion or approval or any comments by the board.
Chairman Gordon,
Yes, sir.
I would like to make a motion that we approve the budget as it has been presented to us.
I'll second that.
All right, so we have a motion second to approve the budget as presented. Is there any discussion or comments by the board?
I'd just like to thank the staff for getting this together. I know it months, hours and hours of work, and it's got something in it for the employees, and we're promoting education, public safety, and we got to realize that over 80% of this is mandated by the state, and the little bit left we have to deal with and do the best we can. We were able to cut. And just watching the news, I can see that municipalities around us are having to lay off police officers and firemen and stuff, and we pulled it all together and was able to do it, and I really appreciate David and the whole staff.
Anyone else?
Anything I'd say would just be an echo of what was already said. David and his team has worked hard for it. And also, this budget adds some of the EMS personnel so we can give better service and quicker response to the whole county. And I think in the next couple of weeks will be the 911 center ribbon cutting on it, so that's going to help.
Next
And
Friday.
with the fire service, Waco's putting a satellite station out on 150, and we the county is putting a bay. Actually, 2 bays, one for the EMS service and one for for the police department.
Sure.
So we're improving services throughout the whole county. And also with the work at the college doing, especially on the north end with decent mechanics, I think that's going to be a big help to the county.
Yeah, while I would have liked to seen the tax rate go down just a little bit more, as y'all knew, I wanted it to go down a little bit more the last time. So we don't always get what we wish, but David and staff has worked very hard on this budget. And for what little we might not have got that might have helped the people, I can't say enough about Reverend Weber and what they did for food insecurities, or Dr. Littlejohn right behind her, and what all Mount Calvary does for community health, and y'all do so much. I can't even say all. I've been over there several times in all the different divisions over there. The Boys and Girls Club, that's another one. The public safety that's in this. So I think it's a really good job of everything that they've done, and I think it should go as it is.
Thank you, David. I would echo, for you and the county employees that's been involved, I'd echo the same thing that's been said. I would like you to take a few minutes, if you would, and expand on one element in this budget that's first for the county, and that's the CIP, and what that means and what that's gonna mean long-term. Yeah, yes, sir, Dick. This concept he's gonna talk about is the county's been trying to get to this place for years, and this is the first year that has had dedicated funding for capital investment for future county projects, and this is a watershed moment for the county taxpayers and the citizens of the county. David?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. On behalf of the board, they tasked me with identifying ways to think further out into the future, and thanks to their vision, offer the idea of a debt capacity model. And essentially what that does is it identifies the existing capital that we do have, future capital needs, and identifies funding sources, aligns those. We set aside, I think it's 4.25 pennies on our tax rate, which is just dedicated to funding debt. So as we have existing debt declining, we're still paying ourselves at that same rate. So over time, when we need that new building, we don't have to come back to the taxpayers because we have a dedicated capital funding source. And it really, like the chairman said, it is really a game changer. So any future capital needs that we'll have, we'll be able to fund it within this capital model and never have to look at raising taxes again for a capital project.
Thanks, sir. Yes, sir. So with that, any other questions or comments? So at
No,
this
but if I may, I'd like to take liberty, I'd like to ask someone in the audience a question. And Mr. Hooker, if it's going to be,
If it is to be, it's up to me.
he said that a long time ago when I first come on. And I remembered it, that if it's going to be, and I changed it a little bit, if it's going to be, it's up to us to work together. But I always like to get that on him. I appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman, I have one other comment if I may.
Yes, sir.
Just sitting up here looking out and listening to everybody tonight, I felt the need to say this. This has been the most uplifting commissioner meeting that I've been to. And I won't rename everything that Commissioner Harden has already done, or mentioning everybody that's here. But I feel that everybody in this room today was here for a positive reason and for a reason to make Cleveland County a better place to live, a better place to play, a better place to get educated. I thank y'all. I truly do. And I'm proud of what the board has been able to do to help those that we have. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. So with that, I'll call the question. So all in favor of presenting or approving the county's the manager's recommended budget for fiscal year ending 2027, will respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Or in favor, anybody opposed? All right, motion carries unanimous, 5-0. Thank you all, appreciate all the work that you do. So we're close to the end of the agenda. If you guys indulge me for just a second, I would like to recognize all the volunteer firefighters in the back. You guys, please stand. Even though I've been one for my most adult life, your fire tax would be 5 times what it is now if it wasn't for those guys and the dedication and the time that they spend. So one other thing, I think Johnny mentioned this earlier. So the dedication of the new 911 center will be next Friday. For those of you that's interested in attending, so the ribbon cutting's at 10 o'clock. June 12th, 10 o'clock, and it's 13 Falston Road, 1333. 1333 Falston Road. So look forward to seeing you guys out there. With that, any board members have anything they'd like to report?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, we have 2 past commissioners in the audience. I'd like to recognize Susan Allen and Eddie Holbrook. And Jason Fall.
Y'all have anything?
No, sir, Chairman.
All right. Somebody texted me the other day and said that when I got ready to adjourn last meeting, I quoted January the 2nd instead of June 2nd. So that was actually a test. Nobody called me. But anyway, one got it. So I'm gonna make sure I get it right tonight. So the next meeting of the Cleveland County Board of Commissioners will be Tuesday, June 16th, 2026, beginning at 6 p.m. here in the Commissioners' Chambers. With that, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, we're adjourned. Thank you, guys.